So it's like, okay, you're telling me you want to be in a committed relationship and you want to be with me. Prove it.
I had it my way, I would already be engaged. In my heart, that's how I feel, and I want him to feel that too.
I haven't.
Scared shitless to leave Tyler on his own with 12 single girls.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Legs, and I would greatly appreciate it if you like the content, if you want to support me, if you want to support the channel, if you could consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps to get the videos out there and inspires me to keep creating. If you've been coming back, watching my content, I know some people do. Okay, I've had a few of y'all in the comments say, look, this is the one that finally made me subscribe. So once again, if you're not sure, if you don't really know what the vibe of the channel is like, we recap shows here, pop culture, also a lot of the off-screen stuff. I tend to scour the internet and put these videos together so you don't have to sit and follow these people on Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, wherever they are. So definitely recommend to be here. We have a good time. We do a bunch of shows. We are starting a new show today, and it is Temptation Island. This is season 1 on Netflix. They actually have, I think, 8 previous seasons that were on USA, I think the cable channel. And this show, it was very, very good in the first, 4 seasons, and then it kind of took a nosedive. Now watching back on Netflix, I do think they've made some additions to the format, which is very interesting. And if you're not familiar with the format, basically on the show, 4 couples come to an island together, but they are immediately split up into a girls' villa and a guys' villa. And each villa has 12 new singles that come to tempt the other partner. So the big question is, can you resist temptation? Can you resist all of these beautiful people around and come back to your partner? Or do you realize, hey, by meeting somebody else here, do you realize that your relationship actually wasn't built to start with? It wasn't right. It's not good. So it's very interesting. The dynamic is interesting. These kind of shows obviously always have mess, always have drama. Another part of it is that they do have what is called the bonfire, and this is where they are shown clips of their partner at the other villa. So the men get to see clips of their girlfriends with the 12 new male singles, and the women get to see clips of their boyfriends with the new female singles. So it's very interesting. It's very messy. I do recommend giving the show a shot because so far I am enjoying this season. So we are going to do episodes 1 through 3 in this video. Let's begin. So episode 1, we are introduced to our 4 couples. So let's go through them. Our first couple is Ashley and Grant. They have been in a 1.5-year relationship. For them, they are truly wondering what the potential of their relationship is after coming out of this situation. For Ashley, she was in a totally different part of her life before she met Grant, but he was very adventurous, spontaneous, and that really helped to change her. Now, she wants to come here because they have major trust issues. At the beginning of their relationship, 1 month in, Ashley was going on a trip to Greece, and Grant actually cheated on her at the time. Now, Grant, once he realized, oh my God, I'm about to miss Ashley, he actually chased her all the way back to Greece, all the way, begging for her back, and he really did realize that he messed up and didn't want to lose her. Okay. Now, another fact that they drop is that Grant has a daughter. So there is a lot riding on this. He has a daughter from a previous relationship. So there is also the dynamic of whether or not Ashley can fit into that dynamic with his daughter. We don't get a lot of info on how close he is to his daughter, but he does mention her quite a few times. So it does lead me to believe that he is at least fairly consistent in her life. So the next couple is Brian and Shantae. They have been together for 1 year. With the two of them, they met through a mutual friend at church who was told that basically asked Brian to help Shantae financially. I don't really know. And Shantae ended up in his bedroom that night. So their relationship basically started off on a sexual foot. Now, Brian lets us know he has a very high sex drive, and Shantae is not quite the same way. It seems that she's a little more hesitant, while Brian, he is all into threesomes. He's into all types of sexual things. So for Brian, he's wondering, can Shantae live up to that? Can she come out of her shell? Can she be where I am, aka sexually. He seems to be a very sexual forward guy. For Shantae, she's really wondering, is our relationship strong enough? Can Breon, can he actually be faithful, be committed, be locked down? Because he's a flirt, he's a player. And again, he talks all about how he has a high sex drive. Whoo, child. Now they want to move in together. They want to build this life, but is that life really there for them? It's giving no. Anyway, Alexa and Lino, they have been together for 3.5 years, longest couple here. So for Lino, he never had a relationship that was more than 3 months before this. So he's never been committed for this amount of time. For Alexa, she's the one that has come in bold, ready to be engaged, ready to take those next steps. However, for Lino, he's a little more concerned. They've really hit a plateau in their relationship where they have moved to multiple different cities together. They've traveled together, but Lino has really been struggling with the fact that he has been uprooting his life every single year, following behind Alexa, and he's really not been able to focus on his career because she is a nurse practitioner. She's about to go back to school. So it definitely seems like she's the one that has been able to focus on her career while Lino hasn't. Another thing that is mentioned is that Alexa was actually married at the age of 21. She married someone that she was with since she was 15. However, that marriage only lasted a year and she ended it. Also, in the very beginning of their relationship, she was exclusive with 2 guys at the same time. So due to that, there is some trust issues regarding Lino. Again, another couple where I'm like, whew, it just seems like a lot of bumps and turns and twists, but they have been together for 3.5 years. Lastly, we have Tyler and Taylor. So Taylor, once again, is another person who has major trust issues. She is very, very worried to leave Tyler with all of these guys. Now, Tyler and Taylor, they met at a bar. Taylor was actually a bartender there, and he at the time was still with his ex-wife. He was legally separated from her, but at this time he was flirting with Taylor and basically legally married to her when they first started dating. Now, they have a ton of physical chemistry. For her, she has focused on herself, got her master's degree, did all of these different things. Whereas Tyler, he had a high-paying medical sales job, an apartment in the city, all of the good life, everything that you could want, right? But he walked away from that job to become a freelance model. So now there's infidelity in their relationship. A month into the relationship, they were arguing a lot. He was very, very needy because of what happened in his divorce. And so he felt like he wasn't getting what he needed. At the gym, some lady approaches him and he ended up kissing her. Okay. Because, you know, he had to drop there that it was because of the divorce and everything that he was going through. So right now, it's really hard for them. They are on rocks. It seems like their relationship is purely based off of the physical, but it doesn't seem like they're in the same place. His friends and family, after his divorce, they did encourage him. Hey, take some time for yourself. Just focus on you. Don't jump into something immediately. But he did not listen, and this is where he is at now. So he's very excited to have this experience and work on himself. So we have a couple of different dynamics between the financial dynamics, between the infidelity, between the lack of a stable job. It seems like Taylor is somebody who really wants stability. So again, is it going to work? Are they going to be able to find it? Let's see what happens with these couples. So we start off with our host, Mark Walberg, and he is asking all of the couples, do you guys have actual rules for what you decided on here? Is there any boundaries? And all of the couples have seemingly agreed, no getting physical, definitely no boom boom, no kissing, no nothing. So we'll see. Usually they crack within the first day or night of this show when it comes to those rules, but we shall see. I'm gonna keep it a stack. If I was at the point in my relationship where I felt like I needed to come here with my partner, I probably wouldn't even implement rules, because what's the point? If your partner jumps to somebody so quickly anyway, they're gonna do it regardless of if a rule is there or not. So I would probably just leave it open-ended. Of course, I would never come here with my partner. So the girls are introduced. Here they come.
Long legs, Great hips, faces, smiles, teeth.
Okay, the temptation is introduced, and we see the girls first that are going to be tempting these 4 men away from their partners. All of the men are immediately seeing things they like: long legs, big booties, blondes. Breon lets us know that his weakness is the booty, and already these men are salivating at the mouth. It hasn't even been a couple of seconds yet, and they are already to risk it all. So basically, all of the women introduce themselves, and they have to go over to the guy that they like the most and give them a bracelet.
All up in your man's mouth.
Oh, shit.
First, I open up your mind.
Oh boy.
I definitely have a lot of assets. My guilty pleasure is sucking dick.
Need the rock.
I love it.
So the first person who gets almost all the bracelets is Breon. The women are absolutely loving him. And then Tyler. So next up, after that happens, we get the men come into the villa to tempt the women.
I like a pretty...
And Ashley gets the most bracelets by far. And Grant, you can already tell he's feeling some type of way that Ashley is getting attention. I always find it interesting to see that dynamic where the men on these shows are so surprised that their partner gets attention from somebody else. It's just, to me, I'm always like, wow, they seem so in shock, because the women are usually so loyal that come onto these shows. They're usually the ones begging their men to come on these shows. And so they're so shocked that other men would like their woman, because they're the promiscuous ones. Shantae is the one that gets the second most bracelets. And if I'm being honest, I feel like Breon doesn't care. Breon definitely gives. I don't give a, like, if she wants to be with somebody else, let her be. I don't care. So each couple gets one last chance to connect with each other before they are going off to their separate villas. And they do find out that their first date night is already going to be this night. That is another facet of the show. They each pick a person to go on a date with. Sometimes it's individual dates, and sometimes it'll be group dates with one or more other couples. So Lino and Alexa, they are talking. They both are promising each other, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. I love you. It's gonna be fine. But they are so scared. They keep saying, do you trust me? Do you trust me? Do you trust me? Do you trust me? I remember Alexa is the one that cheated in their relationship. So I am interested to see how Alexa fares if there's a guy in there who is a little bit more forthcoming, a guy that can provide her that comfort, a guy that's willing to roll with the punches and let her take the lead and be that focus and be that powerhouse in the relationship, because it seems like Grant is struggling with it. Not Grant, sorry, Lino. Now, Grant and Ashley is struggling. Ashley has been sobbing from the beginning. She is so scared that this might be the last time that she ever sees Grant. And again, if you have to have this much worry that your man's going to cheat on you, the relationship is probably not that good, sis. If you're crying because you know your man being around other women is going to be too much for him, I don't know. Leave the relationship. Leave the relationship. Now, Grant is super worried. You could tell that he is feeling very, very jealous and insecure that Ashley got 6 bracelets. But to me, it seems like Ashley is pretty on Grant at the moment. So very interesting. Shantae is like, yo, relax, okay? Because all of the girls, they're gonna be on you, and I know how you are. So please show me that I'm the one. Now, Tyler is asking Taylor, hey, do you still want to do this? Because Taylor is also another person very much struggling with this. He's asking her, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? Because you seem very unsure. Now, for her, she is so tired, and she literally goes into a mental breakdown where she says she is so tired of having to beg her partner to prove to her that she's worthy, that she deserves to be loved. She's tired of always having to put her partner through these ultimatums in order to get there. And again, girl, I feel you. You should not have to beg your partner to show that they love you. But sometimes that is worth an inward reflection. Who are the people that you are going for? Are you going for a similar type of person who's always putting you in this position? Are you going for people that are genuinely showing that they like you in the beginning, or people that just love bomb you? So Anyways, they do have to select who they want to go on their first date with tomorrow, and they go off to their separate villas. All right, so over at the women's villa, Ashley is really crying after all the guys left, after her man left. It really hit her that he's going to be over there, Grant, with 12 other new women that are very attractive. Alexa knew that it would be hard for her, but that does not take away from it being sad. She does really miss Lino. Over at the men's villa, the guys are talking and they're a bit nervous, but you could tell they're definitely a little more excited for this experience, excited for what's to come. Tyler feels that Taylor is going to actually be extremely surprised, let me say, who he's going to pick for her first date, because clearly he has a type and he might not go with that type. So Mark Walberg, our host, he shows up and he says, all right, let's go, everybody. He basically comes to the villas and says, hey, you guys are going to have some surprise guests come in. He has the 4 guys sitting down, and it's none other than...
Oh, gosh.
Honestly, I felt a lot of guilt.
Their partners. They have to basically choose who they want to go on a new date with from the new eligible singles and do it in front of their partners. So, child. For some reason, Lito, he decided that he was going to point out that the guys have small ding-dongs and they could see them when the guys come out. And I was like, hold up. So the girls pick their dates first. Alexa decides to go with Quentin. Taylor picks Chris. Shantae picks Hashim. And Ashley chooses Logan. And Logan is one of those, I'm 6'5", I'm 6'5". Being 6'5" is my entire personality. Now, Grant is struggling. He once again brings up how Ashley got the most bracelets and Logan didn't have to be so cocky the way he came in. You could definitely tell that Grant is insecure about Ashley and knows she's beautiful and attractive to a lot of men, and he gets very jealous over that. Now, the guys choose their picks. Lino picks Natalie. Tyler chooses Courtney, and Courtney's black, okay? And so Taylor little self is shocked. She's like, oh, really? I thought he was going to pick the blonde in the yellow dress because that's his type to a T. You know she wanted to so badly be like, damn, he likes black girls? I just knew she wanted to say that. Breon chooses Amaya. Shantae says it's given that she's one of them natural girls that doesn't wear deodorant. I was like, okay, Shantae, sure, girl. And Grant chooses Olivia. He chooses Olivia because she's spontaneous, adventurous, all of these different things. He's surprised that Ashley chose arrogance in choosing, what was his name again? In Logan, sorry.
Preach, brother.
You're also very arrogant, so kind of falls in line, but...
Logan, what do you think?
Well, I guess if that's...
Ashley, he's surprised that Ashley chose arrogance in choosing Logan. So he's like, Ashley's like, so are you. You also are choosing arrogant. Like, you are an arrogant person. That's why I'm with you. So that is how we end off our first episode, with these cliffhangers of how these dates are going to go the next day. And we do find out that these dates are going to be group dates. So everybody's just going to kind of be with one another. On to episode 2. So the guys all go on a boat for their group date.
The best boys ever.
Thanks for being my date.
Thanks for inviting me, honestly.
Yeah.
I was hoping that you were going to ask me, what do you think when I put my wristband?
Breon does feel Amaya is a little bit more outgoing than Shantae and wishes that Shantae could really have that quality. And again, Breon, he leads a lot with sex, and it's okay. I do think that having sexual chemistry in a relationship is incredibly important. I'm not going to pretend that that's something that does not matter, but when you lead with sex, all you talk about is sex, everything, all you can mention is your high sex drive. You want to have threesomes. To me, that is a bit concerning, because do you ever get deeper with a partner? Or do you just look at someone who you think, oh my gosh, she fine. We could be doing it every day. I don't know. It wasn't giving for me. Now, Grant is enjoying the time with Olivia, but he can't tell if it's a distraction or if he's actually starting to feel feelings. At this point in the experiment, he is just going to trust his heart. So back at the girls' villa, they are having a tiki party with all of the new guys. Now, Quentin and Alexa, they initially hit it off. Alexa does feel that he has this sweet gentleness about him, and that really ropes her in. Now, Taylor wants to talk to Chris because she wants to to see what is behind that pretty face.
Relationship, like I'm a very stable person.
So attractive. I definitely want to get to know you more. Like, I'm intrigued. Like, there's no way that you could just.
This is attractive. He has the dark features. He's tall. He's muscular. But Chris says, hey, I'm looking for somebody who has great communication. For Taylor, that clicks immediately, and she realizes that it's not going well with Tyler in that area. Chris does open up again and talk about how he used to be very, very shy. So communication wasn't always his strong suit, but he does feel like now he has worked on the skills to be really good there. You can definitely tell that Chris is very, very nervous. I think he does really like Taylor, and you can still see those shy qualities about him, but it does seem like he articulated himself pretty well in this little conversation that we see. Now, Logan is talking, and he is saying that people seem quick to run out on something serious. And Ashley is so happy to hear that and just have something chill, because it has been extremely tough when it comes to Grant. Now, Alexa says that Quentin has already showed her a different side of how guys can handle her emotions. I presume that Alexa is a big personality, and maybe oftentimes people try to tell her to simmer down. We could tell that she definitely has girl boss qualities. And so I don't necessarily think that always goes for every single guy. So back at the guys' villa, they are back from the boat party, and all of the other girls move in, and they have what is a lingerie sleigh. Lito is already overwhelmed. This man is red. He is red. He says he is not new to resisting temptation. And I think it's interesting, right? Because at the end of the day, when you're in a relationship, it's not like automatically your brain is going to turn off and you're never going to find anyone attractive again. So I don't think that statement inherently is wrong, as long as you have the self-control. So Amaya is not judging, but she says the lingerie sleigh is really not her thing. So she is happy that she actually got to go on the boat party with the guys and get to know them in that way. So Breon is talking about, oh my God, I need a sober night, dude. I need a sober night. Like, Tyler's on some, I'm trying to pace myself. I'm just trying to take this all in, but it's a lot. You can already tell who's about to crack at the seams, and Breon and Tyler, they are definitely on the cliff. They are really about to risk it all. Now, Courtney, she's basically open to entertaining both Tyler and Breon. She's deciding that she's going to go for both of them, and whichever one actually takes the bait first is going to be the guy that she goes for. So we see them all taking body shots off Courtney. Courtney's licking chocolate sauce out of Breon's ear.
I appreciate you.
Let's make these guys.
You could definitely tell Breon is cracking, and he definitely finds Courtney beautiful. I'm gonna be honest, Tyler didn't give me vibes that he was really interested in that, but Breon definitely is. So Breon says, I'm trying to keep it respectful. I'm trying to keep it respectful, Mr. X Addict. Yes, sir. He is trying to keep it respectful, but it is day 2. And already these women are about to make them risk it all. Ooh, child. Courtney is all up on him. All up on him. These two, give it a little while longer. Breon is not lasting. Breon and Tyler, my 2 picks to crack almost immediately. So Lino says, hey, I'm cool. It's gonna take more than some lingerie to mess me up. Lino does seem pretty solid, and it's not giving that he's so thirsty and ready for anything, but who knows, especially when some people get a little liquor in them, they start to act different. So Grant is still talking with Olivia, how after the date, he started to become concerned that maybe it's not there for him and Ashley. Mind you, it's day 2, and Grant is already like, maybe this is not the relationship for me. As soon as he sees other women, it felt very comfortable and easy with Olivia, in his words. So he's already second guessing his entire relationship with Ashley. Okay. Now, Olivia is aware that there's a connection, but she is not trying to push Grant in any specific direction with his relationship. She doesn't want to be the one to tear it apart on purpose. So she starts to ask some little prodding questions, though, like, do you think you're going to get back together? Do you see it for you two? Do you think it's going to work out? Grant doesn't really give an answer, but at this point, he definitely talks about how he's teetering in the middle. And again, if it's already happening after 2 days, you're not feeling her anymore. You're just not feeling her anymore, bro. Just break up. It's okay. So back at the girls' villa, the rest of the guys move in after after the little Tiki party date that the girls had. So a couple of the men are feeling Ashley. Ashley's definitely a hot commodity. They talk about how she's a cougar and everything. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Fine.
Besties for the...
I'm down.
You guys choose each other at the end.
We're kind of like her sugar babies, you know, so she's a little cougar.
Y'all are 22, so everyone's a cougar to y'all. Now, Yaman is talking to Alexa. He pulls her aside, and he's basically asking what she was planning to do after school is over. And again, she just talks a lot about how she wants to start her own business. She wants to be a boss. And again, it's, you know, with Lino, he's put himself on the back burner to allow for her to do those things. So the girls' party is very, very chill. Just as a comparison, we're flashing back and forth from the girls' party to the guys' party. The guys' party is crazy. They're taking body shots. They're grinding on each other. They about to make out. The girls are really just talking to these guys and getting to know them on a deeper level. So Case is talking to Taylor, and he saw her from the beginning and was very, very attracted to her. Little upset that he was not picked for that first date. Now, Taylor, she starts to break down again. It's clear that Taylor has a ton of repressed feelings and emotions, and maybe she just feels that a lot has been put on her over the course of her relationship, because she breaks down and basically starts talking about how she's never spoken about the insecurities from the divorce that Grant would always put onto her. He hasn't had a job for 10 months at this point, though, again, he's freelance, but it does sound like maybe his income is quite sporadic and quite up and down. And I don't know, maybe Ashley's just not really feeling that and would prefer more stability. There's been infidelity. There's even small things like not putting down the toilet seat. All of these things are just showing her that maybe he's not the rock or the person that she can lean on. And I think it's fair. I think it's real. I think sometimes you do want to be able to feel secure with your partner and feel like you can rely on them. And I do think that if he jumped into this relationship straight after his divorce, it is possible that he didn't even heal fully from what went on. So moving on to the next morning, Alexa and Ashley. Now, Ashley is clearly struggling.
Sorry. So much, yeah. How are you doing? How am I doing?
It's not that Grant choosing who he wanted bothered her. It's just that she's realizing that she can't take it anymore, that Grant gets to behave however he wants, and she's supposed to just take it. She talks about how she's held on to Grant for so long because she put the work and the effort in to build this relationship after the infidelity, and it would be absolutely ridiculous in her eyes to just leave the relationship after going through all of this turmoil that Grant put her through for so long. And honestly, I could really relate to that on a strong level because I have been there as well. Ultimately, I did have to pick myself up and leave, but I definitely get that feeling where you've put so much into a relationship, you've tried so hard, you've stuck through so much, all for it to be nothing. I think for me personally, that's why working on a relationship needs to be a mutual thing. It can't just be one person that's working on things and the other person is doing what they want, because you do get into situations like Ashley and Grant. For Ashley, again, the only time that Grant puts in effort is when he is about to lose her. And I felt it so hard. I really did relate to Ashley and feel this, because I think a lot of us can relate to being in that situation where they don't really care until they know it's too late. Now, for her, she's a boss, okay? She's establishing her career. She's doing well financially. And at this point, she doesn't want that guy. She really doesn't want that guy that's going to continue to bring her down and not even treat her like she is worthy. Now, for Alexa, she realizes that she's very dependent on men. She's always bounced from relationship to relationship to relationship. Remember, she was married, then she went straight into being exclusive with 2 guys, and then she went into being exclusive with Lino. And for her, she's never had a point where she's just been alone. So right now she's realizing, one, being alone, not being with a partner, not having someone by her side is very, very weird. But 2, there's a lot of different things that she can do alone, and it's worth it. And I can agree with that. I can definitely agree that coming out of a long-term relationship, some of the best times of my adult life before I got married to my husband is being single. Being single for that like year or something after coming out of a long-term relationship that was 6 years long. It was really nice to be single, find myself, find my personality. Sometimes, especially when you get into these relationships really, really young, you don't even realize that you're kind of compromising yourself and you're not coming into who you are. So I do think that for Alexa, it is worth it. And there are so many goals that she has and things that she wants to do. But also, you probably realize a lot about yourself when you're not tethered to another person. So Mia and Grant are talking, and for Grant, he is really, really missing the security of being in a stable relationship. But at the same time, Alexa was seeing other people at the beginning of their relationship. He realizes that, yes, now he has been chosen by her, but it still does hurt that at the beginning, he was not chosen immediately. He's used to going for what he wants and getting it. So it really hurt him to feel like he was not the first and initial choice. And to me, I have a lot of questions about her being exclusive at the beginning with two guys, because it just sounds very weird to me. I'd like to know more details about that, because were they in a dating stage where he was under the impression that she, like, let's say, I think that, let me get my words. I think some people, when they're dating, even if they're, let's say, on the apps or they're just in the dating stage, they expect you to automatically be exclusive with them, even if you're still in the talking or just the like early dating stage before you even have made it an official relationship, where other people, they don't let go of all their choices until you've actually asked them, will you be my girlfriend? Because to me, it sounds wild if she accepted being his girlfriend while still dating multiple people. But if it is that he hadn't asked her yet and she was still dating more than one person, I could never do that because I'm an introvert and it's a lot of work to date multiple people. But I do know people who are like that. So I would just like to know more information about it. Also, Grant, I don't know, he sounds a little cocky. It just sounded a little cocky to me when he was like, I'm used to getting what I want and I'm not used to not getting what I want and having to be another option. It just sounded weird to me. So again, I would like some clarification from that. But for him, he is still harboring resentment from that situation and really would like to get over that. Or if he can't get over it, then he realizes he cannot really continue the relationship with her. So Tyler is feeling Kay. He did enjoy the date with Courtney the previous night, but he does want to get to know her a little more. He's working out and he sees Kay lifting them weights and he's like, I might be feeling her. Courtney was cool, but Kay's real cool. So Courtney and Breon, they are talking. For him, he's really getting used to the concept of all of this because love is effed up these days.
They can.
Yes, they can.
Oh, she's basically asking me if, do you feel as though your girl's on your level?
Now, he once again talks about how he's in love with Shantae, but she's not the freakiest, most sexual person. Again, this man want a freak. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but sir, please. He loves her qualities. She's beautiful. She can cook. She's loyal. She has it all. But, she's just missing that one little thing, that she's not a freak. So I think he is trying to convince himself that he really likes her by being like, no one's going to have all of those qualities, though. No one can be the full and total package. And all the girls are like, are you serious? Really? Because they can. You don't have to compromise things. Somebody can be the full package. To me, I feel like when it comes to sex, yes, there are sexual incompatibilities, but this also feels like something where there could be a middle ground. I don't know. It's just a weird situation to me because Breon is giving off very, very sexually focused, and there's more to that than that in a relationship. I also feel like sex drives and things as such go up and down. So I'm curious to know if Shantae has always been like this or if something else happened. Again, I think with some of these stories, we're not necessarily knowing everything quite yet. So meanwhile, Shantae is back at the girls' villa talking with Taylor, and Shantae is like, look, if either one of us cross the boundaries, it is over. Our goal is to move in after, but for me, it is what it is. Now, Shantae does bring up how there was infidelity in their relationship. She's not sure if it was just cold feet that Breon had, but he quickly came back after he realized what he did wrong. So for Taylor, the biggest thing with Tyler is that they constantly argue, they constantly butt heads. After the infidelity, she hasn't had this light, fun, carefree spirit anymore, and she feels bad because that is something that Tyler really does desire. So for Taylor, she is very worried that it's light, it's free over there. He doesn't have to worry about being questioned. He doesn't have to worry about feeling all of this need to explain himself. So meanwhile, Tyler and Kay are going on a gelato date.
A strange experience, like feeling so understood. I feel like Taylor thinks that she knows me.
So he does find her appealing. He is really starting to feel her, and he's just trying to welcome any positive vibes at this point. So Taylor, Kay is not what Tyler necessarily expected, but he is welcoming it. He is really happy. He's not really sure how he felt that she would be, but he's liking what he is seeing. So again, he mentions that the first date with Courtney was cool, but he really doesn't have the same banter with Courtney that he does have with Kay. So for him, it's a really strange experience being understood, because even though he and Taylor have been together for a while, it feels like with Taylor, he's not being heard most of the time. And I did want to know more about that. I mean, we obviously see Taylor say that she's rigid and sometimes maybe she's just asking questions. So I would like to know more about that dynamic where he says he does not feel heard, appreciated, understood. Now, Kay is vibing with him, of course, and she always forgets that he's here with a girlfriend. So at the women's villa, we find out that the men have planned a fun night for the ladies. They bring out the drinks, they bring out everything. Everyone is thinking that Yemen is a great vibe. He seems like a fun guy. And Alexa feels right now, even though I tried to go on a date with Quentin, I do think that it's only friend vibe. So Alexa is back, seeing what's out there. It's not really Quentin. Back at the men's villa, Grant is talking about how he has kids with a few of the girls. Right now, he only wants one other kid in addition to the daughter that he already has. For him, it really does take a while to bring women around his daughter. And even when it came to Ashley, it did take a while to get there. So for him, he is realizing that Ashley may not have those nurturing, motherly qualities that he is looking for in a woman. I just think that's a little bit unfair to say when you guys haven't been together that long. And in addition to that, it's not her child, and you guys are only dating. It's not as if you are married. We don't know if the two of you live together. So I do feel like it's a bit unfair to be like, oh, this woman doesn't have motherly qualities that are perfect towards my daughter that she probably doesn't even know that way. So didn't love that. Now, they start to have a dance competition, and when they bring out the liquor and they bring out the dancing, things get crazy.
Kay for a solo. This is the perfect opportunity for me to mark my territory here. I got this. Let me do the damn thing.
Now, Natalie is starting to feel a little bit of energy between she and Grant, so she is teasing him, and she's gonna start to grind on him, and she wants to see if he's gonna respond because, he's feeling it. He's feeling it. He wants to know what her story is, okay? He's a little bit curious about her, and he's really ready to know about that. So now Kay says she's going to mark her territory because remember, she is feeling Tyler. It is locked in, and baby, Kay's moving all up on Tyler. Tyler is red. He is ready to risk it all. I'm telling you, some of these guys, they are not making it past day 4. I'm calling it now. Whoo, child, he talking about some wow, baby. I'm like, baby, oof. So Kay and Tyler, they have a conversation after the dance party, and Tyler does feel that Taylor and Kay are the same way at the club, stealing the show last minute. So again, he's making all these comparisons about how he feels with Kay and how similar it was to how he feels with, or how he felt with, Ashley in the beginning, or Taylor, sorry. I'm mixing up names like crazy. Y'all already know it takes me a couple episodes to get the names. So I don't know. I think that's interesting that you feel the same exact way with both women. So maybe you should start to put together that it's just the adrenaline of being with a woman you're attracted to rather than a genuine and honest connection. So Kay is flirting. Kay's trying to get in there, and she's like, so what are the boundaries that you have with your girl? And he says right now, really nothing physical, okay? Nothing sexual, nothing there. Maybe we can hold hands. Kay's like, I can but you didn't hold my hand today. And he's like, look, you want to take a tour of my room? And he goes up and he gives her a room tour.
Oh man. I made him show me his bedroom because obvious reasons. I want to be in his bedroom with him.
And Kay's on some, it's my room now too. And I'm like, ooh, baby. Kay about to be a problem for you, Tyler. Now, Courtney and Breon, they are talking. Breon, excuse me, really does want to get to know Courtney.
Eye-opening for me. But I've never had an opportunity to really ask these questions, right? And like,
he's feeling her. There's already been that little spark there for a bit now. She says that obviously the sexual tension is really there, and he agrees, but he still loves Shantae. He is really, really worried what it's like to be closed off in this isolated villa and not really have to worry about the repercussions. Again, Breon admitting once again he does not have self-control and he does not trust himself and knows he doesn't have self-control. For him, he is here to grow and he wants to ask the real questions of whether or not Courtney is actually a good match for him rather than just, okay, I think you're hot, I think you're attractive, I can see myself effing you. Okay. Now, host Mark, he gets here and he steals the guys and lets them know it is your first bonfire tonight. So the guys bonfire. And remember, the bonfire scene is where we get the clips from the other villa of what their girlfriends have been up to. So Grant goes first and he gets the clip of Ashley talking to Alexa about how she needs more from Grant. She don't want that guy anymore. She doesn't want this guy that's constantly bringing her down. So
I mean, she's complained about, you know, me not being able to prove myself to her. That's
for Grant, seeing this, he says, look, like, she's complained in the past about trust, and the reason we are here is due to that. He is embarrassed to hear her saying, I don't live up to this. I don't want that guy. I'm not interested in him. He's never really heard that before. And again, I think a lot of the guys here are shocked to hear that they're not top of the top and that their girlfriend would potentially consider leaving them. But he says that he hopes that she will grow throughout this experiment and give up that resentment. Now, Mark, the host, points out, why is it all her? And that is fair, Grant. When do you take accountability for anything, right? Mark is like, it's not just about her. Right now, it's your journey. There are places where you need to grow. And you can't just put it all on her that, you know, basically you're perfect and need to sit back and just have fun in this experiment and it's only her that has an issue. I appreciated that. So next up, Breon. We get Shantae dancing all up on Hashim. Now, Breon is like, well, I'm actually glad to see her grow into her.
okay.
There's always one couple on the show that's like, wow, I'm actually glad to see my girl doing her thing. I love that. Breon, you know, he wants to see separation from them because he feels that he and Shantae are so attached at the hip. They're so intertwined in each other. So he would like to see Shantae have her own personality. I don't know. I just feel like usually when guys say that, that's AKA, I don't want to be known that I'm in a relationship. I don't want it to be clear that I'm in a relationship. I want to be able to have some distance so I can do me. So he has always felt that she's not a very sexual being, and he is. Now he's hearing that he can have it all from the girls, because remember the girls were saying, you can have it all. So now he's starting to question whether or not him saying, oh, Shantae has all the qualities except this one, and I mean, it makes sense because no one is everything, is actually right or not. Okay, Breon. So going on to Lino. Lino gets the conversation that Alexa and Ashley had about how she does not need Lino. She has her own. She goes to school. She's a business owner. So she doesn't necessarily need Lino, essentially. Now,
sure, wanting to be engaged, and we came to this island for me to gain that clarity and security. And now she's saying she doesn't need me.
This is news to him because she was the one that came here secure and actually wanted to get engaged. Lino claims that being a business owner, going back to school, those were not even ideas that Alexa had in her head before meeting him. So Lino's essentially saying that he took all this time to build her up, make her an eligible bachelorette, but he has had to put himself to the background again. And again, Lino seems to have a lot of resentment regarding the fact that seemingly Alexa has been the one to take the front seat and focus on herself, focus on her business. And he's done that. And again, that's why I'm gonna be honest, in relationships, I'm all for building up your partner if you have the means and you have the resources to. But if you're at a spot in your life where you haven't even built yourself up, you should definitely never put yourself to the side and sidestep what you need to do to build someone else up. Because at the end of the day, you don't know if they're gonna leave. You don't know what's gonna happen. And then what? You put all your money, all your time, all your dedication into them whilst having nothing for yourself. Not a great idea. So for him, he has realized that being uprooted multiple times and not being able to focus on his career has really, really left a sour taste in his mouth. So he is realizing this is his journey and he needs to take it. And lastly, Tyler. Tyler gets the clip about how Taylor was saying that he's had no job for the past 10 months. He leaves a toilet seat up. He's just not a thoughtful person in the relationship. The stability really isn't there.
You know, but I'm trusting this process, and I'm trusting that y'all gonna help me through this.
So for Tyler, he is very, very confused why the example of not putting the toilet seat down has been equivalated to him not being thoughtful. He is really, really tired of Ashley or Taylor, picking out these little flaws about him all the time and using it as a reason that he's not a thoughtful partner. Now, Mark points out, I think there's more behind what you're saying. And again, Tyler talks about how he does not feel valued in his relationship. He just feels like Taylor is constantly berating him and constantly putting him down. And that is tough. I do think in relationships, there has to be a balance of critique or feedback, but there also has to be positive. And that's just life in general. You can't berate, and expect that it's going to go anywhere. At some points, you should be telling your partner, I love that you did this. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate this. I noticed that you did this. Because if it's all just negative, it starts to meld together and it becomes a whole bunch of nothing. But that is how we end off episode 2, y'all. So far, I think this is very interesting. It seems like there's a lot to talk about. I think we're probably going to do the recaps in bunches of 2. I think that should make it so they're not super long, but we can talk about everything. But I really do hope you guys watch with me. Give the show a shot. Try it if you haven't. If you made it to this point, either you watched it or you at least support me enough that you would watch the recap anyway. But if you're not watching it, give it a shot. Anyways, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. And please, 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 don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, turn that notification bell on so you know when I always post. It really does help the videos get out there. It really does inspire me to keep creating. My brain is fried. But thank you guys so much, and I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye.